Ladies and gentlemen, this is huge breaking news. NBC News, Trump says his Mar-a-Lago home was raided by a large group of FBI agents. Fox News, Trump says Mar-a-Lago home in Florida under siege by Federal Bureau of Investigation agents. CNN, Federal Bureau of Investigation, search warrant at Trump's Mar-a-Lago, former president says. Let's look at the NBC News article. Trump says his Mar-a-Lago home was raided. And we'll just read this and I'll give you my analysis. Miami, the former president Donald Trump said in a statement Monday that his home in Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida was raided, quote, raided by a large group of FBI agents. Trump also claimed the presence of law enforcement was unannounced and the reason was politically motivated. Quote, these are dark times for our nation as my beautiful home, Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, is currently under siege, raided, and occupied by a large group of FBI agents. Trump said in a lengthy email statement issued by his Save America political committee. Quote, after working and cooperating with the relevant government agencies, this unannounced raid on my home was not necessary or appropriate. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, well, I'll give you my analysis in a moment, but after working and cooperating with the relevant government agencies, this unannounced raid on my home was not necessary or appropriate, Trump said before bemoaning. They even broke into my safe. At Justice Department headquarters, a spokesperson declined to comment to NBC News. Trump's involvement in inciting, ransacking. In February, the National Archives and Records Administration asked Justice Department to examine whether Trump's handling. Now they're going back to the National Archives. Look, if you're happy about this and you're a morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat who thinks that Trump committed crimes, you have to understand this is an obvious attempt at focusing on things that Trump didn't do that was criminal. He did not commit a crime, okay? That's why they have not charged him. The reason that they're raiding Mar-a-Lago is because the Federal Bureau of Investigation is in many ways an extension of the Democratic Party. James Comey could not find intent when Hillary Clinton put top secret and special access program intelligence on servers running outside of the United States government, according to James Comey himself. The act of transferring or migrating or removing classified data, top secret, SAP intel from secure government locations onto servers is an obvious crime. Her home wasn't raided by the Bureau. Why? Because you had Peter Strzok who said, we'll stop Trump in one of his text messages. These people are actually, they tell the world exactly what they're doing within their text messages. Kevin Kleinsmith, all of these people had text messages that are now out in the open that showed their animus and contempt and disdain for Trump. You have people, the authoritarians and the tyrants and the despots. That's not Trump. There's a word that starts with an F. I'm not going to use it because, of course, you have to think of the algorithm because Democrats influence that also. They say that Trump or Trump Republicans are the authoritarians and despots, and they go and they try to go after their direct political rivals. Democrats are desperate. We have a recession, inflation at 9.1%. It's only going to get worse, okay? The demand for oil is still outpacing supply. So what's taking place right now with momentary drops in oil prices, that's an anomaly. The oil prices will go way back up very soon. And everybody knows this. If you don't think that I predicted this in September of 2021 and October of 2021. I said, we'll have a recession, stock market crash. I wrote in the Federalist, read my article below. Democrats are desperate. Real wages are down 4.4%. We're in a recession. Poverty is at 14 to 15%. The selling point to being a Democrat is that you care about poor people. Democrats have literally created the poverty with their completely counterproductive and inept policies. So inflation 9.1%, real wages down 4.4%, poverty at close to 15%. We had poverty at 10.5% in 2019 before Democrats gleefully tanked the United States economy. And we didn't have to do that. Media, bureaucrats, highly educated, tanked the U.S. economy. Okay? We didn't have to do that. That was a choice. And it was the wrong choice, wrong thing to do. But we have a situation where Trump presided over record highs in household median income. It was a record high, according to CNN in 2019. A record high. Okay? And you had poverty at 10.5%. So anyone who says, oh, well, Trump abandoned his voters. No. He did everything possible for his voters, all 70 plus million Americans and 60 plus million in 2016 or so, or close to 60 million in 2016. Okay. He did everything for his voters. Democrats, Biden is mashed potato brains is basically a somewhat sentient human being, in charge of a completely inept and incompetent administration. Democrats have the House, the Senate. They don't even want mashed potato brains to run again. That's how embarrassed they are of him. The political party is simply propped up by Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert and Seth Meyers and all of Hollywood and every publication out there. They're now talking about Trump flushing things down the toilet. You have politically motivated stunts by the Federal Bureau of Investigation going after like Roger Stone or others. It's like these morning raids, and now they're going after Mar-a-Lago. But they don't do the same thing with Hunter. They don't do the same thing with Hillary. And Hunter has videos of him weighing illegal narcotics. And it's like, no. And they've had his laptop for years. The federal government was investigating Hunter just when they were impeaching Trump. And the president of the country he was supposed to have pressured stated categorically he wasn't being pressured. But here you have a situation. Look, I mean, you could jump for joy just like the Mueller probe, just like the DNC emails, they were jumping for joy before they lost miserably to Trump. And the Mueller probe, they were saying Mueller time, and then they found nothing. To do this to a former president is disgusting, despicable, especially when Democrats actually commit crimes, and Trump didn't. You don't have a crime for Trump. With Clinton, you have 18 U.S. Code 793F. With Hunter, you have a litany of legal statutes pertaining to racketeering, laundering, and all of that. Because the money that he got was because he had the ear of the vice president, and Joe Biden lied about meeting Hunter's business associates. See, again, you actually have crimes. Like Hunter did commit crimes. Hillary did commit crimes. And I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. I would love that, please. But this is the world we live in, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? They're going to try and stop Trump by any means necessary. And God forbid, they're going to try to, and I don't mean to say that. I don't mean by any means necessary, by any rational, logical, or by any legal, rational means necessary. Okay, that's what I mean. God forbid, I didn't mean anything like nuts. But they're probably going to try to indict Trump either before midterms or after midterms to knock him out of 2024. Don't be surprised don't be surprised. I'm not predicting that they do, but don't be surprised if they indict Trump and he wins a trial. But by that time, they will have like obsessed over the media coverage. Democrats live off of media. They actually commit the crimes. They cheat Bernie Sanders. The DNC emails forced Debbie Wasserman Schultz to resign in disgrace. They have private servers with top secret intel on them. They're weighing illegal narcotics naked like Hunter. Or maybe not. He wasn't, without clothing in that video, but he's without clothing in most of the photos or a lot of the photos and pictures, doing, crazy things that Jimmy Kimmel would obsess over if it was Donald Trump Jr. They're using the United States government to go after Donald Trump because they can't stop him. This is exactly what the deal is. The Democrats are the authoritarians and the tyrants. If you don't see that, you're just a petulant, malicious, very gullible, highly educated, morally superior liberal Democrat. He did not tell anyone to commit a crime in January. And furthermore, where are people when it comes to $1 to $2 billion in property damage that summer, and 19 lives lost, according to Wikipedia? I support the cause, but you mean to tell me that you can just ignore that carnage all summer and focus on one day. I think it's a terrible day, and it shows how you want to talk about how dangerous and how tyrannical and how vicious Democrats are. Just look at how they utilize government against their direct political rivals. Give me your thoughts. They set up and framed Trump with Clapper, Brennan, Comey, Strzok, McCabe, and now you have the current director going after Trump now. I mean, it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. They didn't do this with Hillary, and her team was destroying evidence. They didn't do this with Hunter, and my God, he's like a walking national security risk, 150 suspicious financial transactions. Are you kidding me? Let's just say, if you are like, I'm so happy, Mar-a-Lago got raided. You realize that the Bureau is an extension of the Democratic Party, just like Jimmy Kimmel is. There's no difference between Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert and the Federal Bureau of Investigation and social media algorithms on Twitter. You have every single possible advantage because if you didn't, the Democratic Party wouldn't exist. It would be known simply as a political party that cheated Bernie Sanders and will always cheat Bernie Sanders. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. We're in a recession. They're capable of anything, and they could very well indict Trump because they have nothing to stand on in terms of accomplishments. Give me your thoughts. Thank you.